Hello, this is Christian Horner, and I am your student's AP Physics teacher. Just wanted to go through a few things with you so that both you and your student have some information about the class before we actually start on Thursday. So I'm really excited and just really want to get into this. Let's take a look a little bit about me. My name is Mr. Horner. This is my 21st year of teaching and my 11th year at Westfield High School. Had a great time this summer doing all kinds of fun things. Probably the best memories that I have about the summer are going to Disney World. We went to downtown Disney and I hopped on a motorcycle, was able to do all kinds of fun things with at different parks and just had a great time with my family. My wife, Linda, is a teacher at the middle school. My daughter's going to be in 7th grade this year. My son's going to be a sophomore. Let's talk a little bit about the class. So what is my main purpose in teaching AP Physics 1? Really, all I want to do is just help students develop a toolbox of skills to help ensure they have success at almost any course or anything that they want to do. We do a lot of conceptual things, a lot of mathematical things, reasoning skills, writing skills. I've had a lot of students come back and say that they're really successful in college after this class or after any other AP Physics course that we've got. And I also had students last year after the AP Physics 1 class tell me that they did really well on the ACT or the SAT. And they said that there was a little bit of physics on there, some reasoning skills that they had learned that they were able to use. So that's a really great thing. Let's talk a little bit about the class. Probably the best way that I can describe the class is something that's student-led. I don't like to get up and do a lot of lecturing. I think students have a attention span like I do that's probably 5 to 6 minutes. And so if I do have to get up and talk at all, I usually do it in about a 2 to 3 minute period, giving some instructions. This modeling method that we're going to use, we used it last year, is awesome. It allows me to have the kids do a hands-on or an inquiry style lab or activity, and then they actually present all the data to the rest of the class. This allows me to question the students, help them develop some deeper connections, instead of just telling them information and having them regurgitate that on the test. So students, as you can see in the pictures that I have here, actually really do present what they learned. They will find out an equation maybe. They'll talk about what the equation means. They'll go through and give an example. So this is just kind of some things that students can expect when they come in. I've found out over the many, many years that I've been able to teach and had the privilege of teaching in Westfield that the more hands-on it is, the more minds-on it is, the better the kids do. A little bit more about homework. So we have a new book this year. It is in an electronic format. Students will be able to log on that first day and they'll have a code that they can go on and pick up that book. There's also a website called masteringphysics.com. That's where they're actually going to find their book, but that is where the problems and the concept questions are that they'll do for homework. We will go through some of that during the class period, and then they'll go home and attempt those problems. It'll be the same type of problem, just a different number answer, just checking to make sure that they know how to go through the motions. Other homework will come from old AP Physics test questions. We have the solutions for all of the tests online. I will give them anything they need. In fact, I go through and like to use YouTube to work out a lot of those problems so that the students can actually follow along at their pace and really go back and forth and really check to make sure that they're understanding what's going on. We also do conceptual understanding videos, talk about concepts. Those are also completed by the teachers, and students watch those, take notes, go back and forth, make sure that they understand them. The last thing we do for students at home are online activities and lab activities. The PhET site from Colorado .edu is a really fantastic site that students have used very successfully in the past in order to do labs and understand a lot of the concepts in a deeper fashion. In terms of labs, we do a ton of labs. So we have lots of toys. You'll hear the kids come home talk about they used a pullback car one day. They'll use a pendulum another day, all kinds of really cool things. We have a lot of great equipment too. The young lady you see here, her hair is standing on end. She's holding onto a Van de Graaff generator, really safe but very effective way of showing kids how electrons work or kind of an electric field. You'll also see this is just a picture of my lab. Kids are always busy in the lab, really trying to figure out the principles of physics and just in general how to learn and how to use the equipment effectively. Along with labs, we have assessments. So we have formative assessments. Those are really just in-class checks. We might do a quiz, either paper quiz or online quiz. I will go around and ask questions of students while they work just to gauge their understanding to help them through processes. And then you've seen a little bit about the whiteboarding where students will present their information and we can help them if they have any misconceptions. It's okay to make mistakes in physics is what we tell them because that's how we make discoveries and that's how we learn. We also do summative assessments. Those are tests. The first day of a summative assessment is multiple choice. The second day is free response. The questions are chosen from old AP free response questions. We really help them through those, make sure they understand them so that when they do take the test, they're very successful at that. Students have the solutions to everything. They just need to make sure that they understand what's going on, and then they're very successful at both the formative and summative assessments as long as they've done that. Next slide talks a little bit about ensuring success. Especially during first trimester, we use a lot of these soft landing strategies. Test corrections are completed for the first trimester for every test that they take. They can get a half point back for every point that they miss. So let's say a student gets 76% on a test the first time. They can come to period 6 and they can do corrections and earn back 12 percentage points, which means that their final score could be as high as an 88%. This really ensures that students are learning from their mistakes. Like I said, that's the best way to learn is to make a mistake and then go back and fix it so that they learn from those. We also offer a lot of video lectures and solutions. Students can use those to help themselves when they're working at home. And then I'm always available during period 6 to help them on a one-on-one or in a small group setting. Technology. If you came to the Meet the Teacher night for AP back in May, you know about this already. If not, you should have received an email and maybe even a letter from administration that talks all about bring your own technology. We are an official Bring Your Own Technology class. Students really need and must have a laptop for this class. So either a PC or a Mac, either one works. Chromebooks really don't work with our software, so they aren't something that we have them bring. iPads and certain tablets also don't work with the software that they have. They're fine to bring them if they want to bring them along with a laptop. We have some specific software that we provide to them. One of them is called Logger Pro. It does all the data analysis. We use it all the time. The other thing is their textbook. It is online, and so we want to make sure that they have access to that and to the Mastering Physics learning management system. We also use a program called Moodle, which is an online management system for learning, and that's where all their assignments will appear. We provide most of the needed software free of charge. The things that we wouldn't provide would be like Microsoft Office, and so I would say that that's something that they just purchase on their own, or they can get the free Office suite online also. We use a lot of data gathering equipment. For example, we use something called the LabQuest and sensors. So kids will see those on the first couple days and really get to know how to use those. I encourage kids to bring their smartphones to class so that we can use a little program called Kahoot. It's for online quizzes, which is really fun. And then we also have them take video for class, and then they analyze the video. So they might record a ball bouncing across the room or somebody shooting a free throw, and then we can do all kinds of really cool stuff with that in order to check how fast the ball is going, how far it goes, and those type of things. Just to show you what a typical classroom would look like, this is my class from last year. We've got a Promethean board that I use up front and sometimes a little monitor that I can model things on, and then I stand behind the kids, kind of walk around and help them, and you'll notice that they're all working on their laptops in order to build circuits. So that's the best part of this class is being able to really have that hands-on and have them learn how to use technology effectively so when they go to college, they're really good at that and they're not just sitting playing games or texting friends or doing things on Twitter or Facebook or Instagram or anything like that. The next slide here talks a little bit about the AP Physics 1 test. It is on Tuesday, May 3rd, from 2016, from noon to about 3 o'clock. There are two sections to this test. Multiple choice is the first section. You can use a calculator on it. There's an equation sheet provided, and it's basically just a test of general knowledge in physics with an emphasis on understanding. There's a lot of writing on this test, and that takes me into the free response section. Once again, they can use a calculator and an equation sheet, but this part is a test of problem solving, lab experiments, reproducing some of those, coming up with new ones, and just processing skills in physics. We'll do a lot of writing using the Peel format. Sometimes we leave off the letter L at the end. And since it's spelled P-E-E-L, we actually talk about using the P method. So they get a big kick out of that. But it's a great method to answer some really simple questions in physics, but make those more complicated physics answers very simple for graders to actually read. I was a grader this year for the AP Physics test, and I can tell you that kids that wrote a lot, it was very difficult to pick out what they had in terms of an answer, what was good and what wasn't. So this Peel format will do a really great job. So your student takes the AP Physics test. What does that mean if they pass? So if they get a 3, 4, or 5, which we have a lot of kids get a 3, 4, or 5 on a lot of the different courses, that means that they get credit at any state-supported or public college in Indiana by law, and that can be in any major area. So if a student is going to major in science, that can reduce the number of courses that they take at a college level, gives them more opportunities to take other courses. If they get a 5, which is the highest score on the AP Physics 1 test, that's actually full credit for the IU pre-med required physics course. So that's a great thing. They can get up to it's up to the college really as to what level credit they get, and it's based on the score. So you really need to call the school or check the website to see what they give. You can go to purdue.edu, iu.edu. Notre Dame, because it is a private school, has a little bit different way of giving credit, so you really want to check their website or give them a call. For all students, regardless of whether they pass the test or not, it's a nice addition to a college application on your transcript. It does get full weight for all 3 trimesters. It gets an AP weight, and this just really gives kids confidence they can accomplish a very difficult college level course, but a really easy high school level course when it's taught at the high school level, when we can spend time with them. The next slide is a little bit about the grant that we have. This is the last year of the grant. It's called the Nimsay Grant. It stands for the National Math and Science Initiative. This was started in Texas to improve the participation in AP programs, and it's grown to cover several states, including Indiana and many schools like Westfield High School. The incentive for students in this is for them to take a college level course. If they score a 3, 4, or 5, Nimsy actually provides them $100, and not in the form of a scholarship, but in the form of a check that they can go and cash and use on anything. The other incentive for students, if they do pass the AP test, is to get college credit, and that's anywhere from $250 to $800 depending on how much credit each college gives. The incentive for teachers is a small stipend, and more importantly, some excellent professional development in the terms of summer training, mock exam grading, a fall conference, a spring conference, all kinds of really cool things. The next thing we'll talk about is projects. We do a lot of projects in physics. Just a couple of them that I wanted to show you or talk about is the balsa bridges. They're going to build bridges. They attach a lot of weight to those bridges. Just do a great job in that. We have something called an egg protection device, and we drop these eggs from the ceiling, and a majority of them don't make it, but the kids really learn a lot from their failures, which is awesome. The test is on May 3rd, but we still work through the end of the year, and the big project we have at the end of the year after they take the AP Physics test are these really cool paper roller coasters. They build these entirely out of cardstock paper. They have templates, and the goal is to build a really cool paper roller coaster that has a marble that goes down through it. We want to try to increase the time so they'll just use a tremendous amount of physics. Finally, just some contact information for me. My school phone number is shown here, 867-6911. If you can't remember, if you can remember the 8676, 911 is pretty easy to remember. My email address is a little different from most of the other teachers. Usually it's just last name, first initial. My first name's Christian, but my sister's name is Constance, and we both work in the corporation. So my email has an extra H on it, so it's hornerch@wws.k12.in.us, and then I will talk to the kids about at Mr. Horner Physics, the Twitter handle that I have. Send a lot of stuff out for it. And that's it. So hopefully if you ever need to contact me, you can get a hold of me really easily. And if you can't make it to back to school night on Thursday this week, this will give you all the information that I'll go through. Thanks a million.